How you doing, guys? Welcome back. It's LSP. It's currently the 10th of July 2021. I'm going to quickly go over Bitcoin, some of the levels that we discussed in the previous video. I keep saying we, like there's more than one of me. There isn't. There's just me. But I was talking about the levels in the previous video, so I just want to kind of go over the start to the weekend, see what we could be expecting, possibly tomorrow, and going into the sort of early part of next week. So in the previous video, 4-hour chart, I was saying there's only two levels that I was interested in. One of them was down here at the 32,000 level-ish, and the other one was up here around about sort of 37,000. And as you can see, price has come down, and we'll just do this just to emphasize what we're talking about. Around about here. And price has come down, it's tapped into this liquidity down here and rebalanced a little. There is a little bit left, but I don't think it's really going to matter. The response away from this is pretty significant in terms of its overall ranges, these pocket ranges that it's creating on the 4-hour chart. But having said that, we have this area up here, which is actually extended to this level here. So we need to get back through. Now, here's what could potentially be unfolding going forward, right? Price has come down, it's tapped into this liquidity. And it did it pretty aggressively, yeah? Now, when I say aggressive, you have to pay attention to the way that the candles are forming, okay? You can see that this is, quite efficient. It's nice, it's grinding, and then it accelerates, almost straight into this level on those three candles, right? And then it stops and it starts to move away. But again, it starts to do it nicely. It's facilitating trade both sides of the market, buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell, and then it pops, right? So these pops, these quick moves away, they're a little bit more aggressive than its normal resting facilitation of flows, basically. So we're kind of grinding back up into an imbalance, right? So as it's going back up and it's going back up and it's going back up, I would expect to see some sensitivity here. So as price comes up, it hits this level, and I'm not saying it goes up and it rips back down or it explodes through, but we want to see what happens here, because this is kind of a clue as to what could potentially be unfolding next. Now, as things stand, the 37 level up here is looking like it's going to be traded to, and I've been talking about this level for quite some time. You guys know that I post on the Discord all the time, but I try to do it in a way where it's something to pay attention to. I try to give people as much time as I can based on what the normal average ranges are on Bitcoin, to keep an eye on it, to look at it, to try to be on the right side of it, not financial advice obviously, but to just try and be on the right side of the study, so to speak. So I talk about these things, pretty consistently. And as we're doing this, it gives you that timeline, not necessarily to look back on and say, oh, check this guy out, he was right. That's not what I mean. But it gives you a timeline to look back at and say, okay, well, price was here, and then it ended up here, and then it ended up there, and so on. And as you're looking at this, you can almost sense the flow. It came down, it grabbed some liquidity, it ran back up, it offloaded some liquidity, then it picked up some more here, and it offloaded some more there. We can see big buyers stepped in here because price started to run very quickly as it seeked liquidity to pair those orders and so on. So we can backtrack and watch this nice animation of flow, so to speak, as we're mapping price going forward. And due to this, this is the next level that should be traded to. It doesn't mean it will straight away. Obviously, something that can take time. We know Bitcoin can be resting and then all of a sudden it just pops. Regardless of whatever happens, liquidity is liquidity. So you guys know I don't subscribe to news or fundamental analysis in any way, shape or form. But you can always pair it with something, but we've seen Bitcoin just pop, for no reason. So the interesting thing that you want to be paying attention to is when it pops, where's it going to? If you're aware of the level before it happens, then you know that price is probably going to react at that level. That's the most important thing, all right? So I expect some price sensitivity here as price starts to run back up. On the downside, so I'll say for both scenarios, if price starts to grind up, expect some price sensitivity here. If it gets through this, there's a very small gap just here, you can see it. I would expect that to get plugged and then price to grind, and start to accelerate on that last portion as it's going into around about sort of 37,500-ish, as it runs to rebalance. So we'll see how that pans out. On the downside, there is a very small amount of liquidity left down here until we get to the larger liquidity down here. Okay, so there's a lot for it to go through before it would even need to sort of run much lower. Okay, and this has done a wonderful job on Bitcoin. This drop here of picking up some liquidity, and you know, guys, obviously I spoke about this, oh man, way before it happened, before it got down to 30,000 to 28,000. I mean, 28,600. Can you be any more precise? Really, I guess I don't know. Well, I suppose you can, but you know, I spoke about this for a good while before it went down there, and this is important, and I emphasized how important that level is down here, and the fact that we've moved away from this. Yes, we are grinding sideways. There is a slight uptrend to it until it broke just here, which is quite interesting, as it dropped and it dropped and it dropped. But there's a very small amount of liquidity left in this area down here, so if it runs for it, there's still this to get through. Okay, so we may see, assuming it goes lower, I'm not saying it will, but assuming it goes lower, we may see a lot more slop sideways as it's bouncing back and forth between this range. So with that said, right now the flows are saying that price is going to pop higher. Okay, but the ultimate draw on price for me is this. This is the most important area up here. Once we get there, which I'm very confident Bitcoin will do at some point, you know, then I expect there will be a shift in flow, okay, an order flow shift. And when that happens, we should start to see price slowly grinding its way back into the 40,000 range and then possibly higher. And then we can kind of look at the flows. And, you know, guys, obviously we're always keeping, you know, on top of this through the smart talks and whatnot. You know, I know I talk about CHSB a lot, but when there's something relevant, you know, I'll post it. When there's something that's important to say, then we say it. You know, and we keep a track of this as we continue to go. And in doing so, we're always on top of the flows. Yeah, doesn't mean we're always right, but we're always on top of the flows, so we can kind of get a good feel for where things could potentially be in the next sort of 3 to 6 months, and that's the most important thing. As a I'm not going to say a day trader, but as a trader, you know, if I see something that makes sense, I've told you guys, obviously I have a spread betting account. So taking a shot on a Bitcoin as a spread bet, you know, this is completely different to 3 to 6 to a year time frame. Yeah, we're not talking about sitting down and saying, okay, well, I'm trying to time the market now to go from, you know, sort of 33,820 to 34,246. I mean, I'm not doing that when I do these videos. This is always with the idea in mind that we're looking for these larger liquidity pools for price to be running for, to give us a better accumulation spot, to give us a better understanding of where price could be going, and more importantly, to keep the emotions in check. And that's what this is really all about, to have the confidence to sit back and say, right, it doesn't really matter what Bitcoin does today, tomorrow, in a week, you know, from now. What matters is what's it going to be saying in a month, 3 months, possibly 6 months, you know. And the draw on price is 37,000. And nothing's going to change that. That's just what the flows are saying. And as always, guys, you know that I talk about these things a lot, you know, with the intention to try to get you guys focused on where your eyes need to be focused on, and away from all the sort of FOMO, you know what I mean, and the FUD. We don't need that, you know. So with, you know, again, all that said, you know, I hope everyone's having an awesome weekend. I will update everybody probably Monday. I did start recording the Language of Price part 2, but for some reason the microphone is cutting out. I don't know what's happening to the microphone. Maybe I need to there's probably a loose connection somewhere. I'll try and figure it out. But I have a wedding to go to tomorrow, so if I can't get round to it today or tomorrow, then it will have to be a Monday video. But I definitely want to get that out in the next couple of days, as I said I would. Yeah. So again, I hope everyone's having an awesome weekend. As always, guys, you can find me in the Discord over at Swissborg. I am in the Wealth and Trading channel mostly. For those of you who have been clicking the link in the description, I do need to update this at some point, but if you just do a search, you'll find, I believe it's the Swissborg Discord server. It's like / Swissborg. That's the one you need to click on. So you get yourself into the Discord or Swissborg Discord chat. You know, we're always there. We do the smart talks as well. Me and Ben on Thursday, 6:30. which is an opportunity for everybody to just come along. We do it live, we talk, we go through lots of different things. I do CHSP analysis in detail, talk about education, in investing and trading, and then we're always hanging around for question and answers afterwards. So it's a great place to pop over and ask questions if you want to ask questions and learn. So again, have a great weekend, guys. I will catch up with you in the chat or any of the other mediums that you find me on, and I will speak to you soon. Take care.